In this tutorial, we'll be using Vision to extract faces from an image and include the extracted faces within a list. As you can see, within this image there's 3 faces, and each face has been extracted and displayed within this list here. So this is what we'll be doing in the tutorial today. Within your SwiftUI project, create a new Swift file and then name the file face detection. Next thing we need to do is to import Vision and UI kit. And now we need to create our class that's called face detection, public class face detection. The next thing we need to do is to create an array. The purpose of the array is to store an array of faces, or to detect an array of faces when they're found within the image. Private var detected faces UI image. Next thing we need to do is to create our default initializer, public init. Now we need to add a method that's called convertImage. It's private func convert image face image, and the data type will be UI image, which can be optional, and it will return a UI image. Which can be optional as well. Next thing we need to do is to check that the image exists and can be converted to the correct data type. Guard let image equals face image, let data equals image dot png data, else return nil. So lines 20, what that means, if the image cannot be converted to a UI image or a PNG image, then it will return nil. Else if the image can be converted to a UI image, then it will do the following. It will return the converted UI image. The next method we need to create is called face detection, public function, face detection, document, UI image, optional. Now we have to perform some safe unwrapping by using another guard statement. So that's guard let face image equals convert image, the document, which is the image, let CG image equals face image .cg image. Else, if it cannot be converted or some error happens, just come out of that method, just return from that method. Next thing we need to do, we need to create a face detection request. So we type in let request equals v and detect face capture quality request. And then we need to add a weak cell to release the memory. And we need to call another method afterwards within the same function, which I'll be doing in a minute. Request in guard let observations equals request results as bn face observation, else return. Line 36, what that does, it checks if the face observation results are valid. If it's not, then it just returns out of the function. The next thing we need to do is to loop through all of the extracted faces that were found. So just type in for observation in observations. If let cropped face image is equal to self dot crop face image, so we need to create another method called crop face image. So let's create that method first after line 45. So just type in private func crop face from image. And then that function needs to accept two parameters, which are image, which is the UI image, using observation, and observation, which is a VN face observation data type parameter. And this function will return the cropped image as a UI image. It can also return nil, so we need to use an optional there as a question mark. And then on lines 52, just type in return nil. And then we go back to the previous function that we was in, which is face detection. And on line 40, just type in crop face from image, and then provide the parameters, which are face, image, which is using observation, and so we need to include the bracket there for this statement. There's an error on line 41. I think it's space image. Oh, we need a comma. There should be a comma there, using observation, and then just pass in observation, which are the extracted faces. And now that we have the extracted faces, we just append the extracted faces to our detected face array. The next thing we need to do is on lines, after line 45, is to create a handler for the image request. So just type in let handler equals VN image request handler CG image options And then now we need to create some error handling using do block, and then we need to add a catch there, and then just print out any errors that might happen. And then within the do block we need to add try handler.perform request. And the purpose of this is to perform the actual face detection. I'll just compile it now just to see if there's any errors. Just compiling at the moment. It's compiled. So the next thing we need to do now is to complete the implementation for the function crop face from image. On lines or after line 59, just enter let image size equals image dot size. And the purpose of that is to get the size of the image. Let bounding box equals observation bounding box. And the purpose of that line is to get the bounding box of the detected face. Let x equals bounding box dot origin dot x times by image size dot width. And the purpose of that line, line 64, is to calculate the x coordinates where the cropping should start. So that's where the actual face is located and where it will be extracted. The next thing we need to do is type in let y equals 1 minus bounding box dot origin dot y minus bounding box dot size dot height times by image size dot height. And the purpose of that is to calculate the y coordinates where the cropping should start. Let width equals bounding box dot size dot width star image size dot width. And that calculates the width of the cropping region. And the same thing, I'll just copy and paste this one. Because the height one is similar to the width, we'll just change the variable name. Put height here. And height there. And then what we need to do need to type in if let cg image equals image.cg image question mark dot cropping cg rec which is x, y, width and height. So we need all of these parameters. So cg rec assign x for the x parameter and y, and for the width, just type in width, and for the height, just type in height. Return UI image, CG image, CG image. So the purpose of line 72 is to crop the faces from the image using the calculated coordinates and dimension. And then line 73, it just creates a new UI image from the cropped image. And then that will return the result to the caller. The next function we need to create is called get detected faces, which is a public function. Public function get detected faces. And this function will return an array of faces that we saw earlier in the beginning within the list, when I showed the list that included 3 faces. That's an array of faces from the cropped image. And then we just return the detected faces. Let's compile it again. So, yeah, it's compiled, so that's good. So next week we'll be adding the interface to enable the extracted images to be shown to the user within the list. Today we'll be continuing with the face extraction detection tutorial to extract these 3 faces and put these 3 faces within the list as seen here. Within your SwiftUI project, drag a photo that includes 3 faces and then drag it onto assets. And then drag another picture that's not a human face, for example, an animal, a dog. Just trying to drag it at the moment, not dragging. Not dragging. So now, as you can see, I have two images. One that includes a picture that has three human faces, which is this one here. And then another picture is a picture of a dog, which is here. So when we perform the face extraction from the human photo, it will receive three faces, extract three faces from the image, and the count will be 3. But when we try to do it with the animal, the dog, the count will be 0. It's not a human face. So in your content view, you need to create an enum, and the purpose of the enum is to store and reference the face images that we're going to be using, or the pictures that we're going to be using. So just type in enum, my images, screen, face, 3 faces is equal to 3 faces dot jpg. Face, no faces is equal to dog png. And then next thing we need to do, after line 15, we need to add a few state variables. So just type in state private bar count faces int 0 state private bar detected image UI image. It's going to be new, so it's an optional. State private bar face detection, which is the class that we created last week. So put in the instance of the face detection class. State private bar detected faces UI image. A detected spaces are spelled incorrectly, so that should be DET. Detected faces, so that's an array of detected faces, which is an array of images, UI images. The next thing we need to do is delete the following from the VStat from lines 23 to 26. So delete the padding. In the VStat, we need to add the text element, face detection, font, large title, font weight, bold, foreground color, blue, padding, top, 20. If cell dot count of faces is equal to 0. So if there's no faces, text, no faces detected, dot font, title, dot font weight, bold, dot foreground color, red, dot padding, dot 20. Else, if the count was more than 0, that means the face was found, that means the face was detected. So we do our else statement, we need to the following, else, if let image equals UI image, name, my images, 3 faces, it should be a smaller O instead of capital O. Do that again, 3 faces, put raw value. Let's get in the name of the 3 faces, .jpg, that's the raw value. So we fix this part using the raw value, and then assigns it as the image name. There. But really, we should be getting the image from the camera or from the photo library. But for this tutorial, the image names are just hard-coded using variables. Image, UI image, image, dot resizable, dot aspect ratio, dot width, dot plane, max width, infinity, max height, 200, dot padding, dot top, 20. Now, after line 44, we need to add another text element. Which will show a count of the amount of faces that have been extracted from the image. Dot font, title, dot foreground color, dot green, dot padding, dot top, 20. And then now we need to add our list. Detected faces, just the array, ID, backslash self, face image in image, UI image, face image. So it's going through the loop, adding each image to the list. Got resizable, got aspect ratio, got fit, got frame, max width, got infinity, max height, 100, got padding, got top, 20. And then we're typing dot list style, plain list style, and then after line 60, typing dot on appear, next thing we need to do is to add our detect face method that will be called as soon as the form, as soon as the screen is displayed, will be called within on appear. So after line 65, have the following method, func, detect faces, if let image equals UI image, name my images, these faces that raw value. So the first time when we try to run the app, we'll be using the three faces image to test the face extraction functionality. Detected faces equals open bracket, close bracket. That just dereferences the array, so it moves everything, deletes everything from the array. So the array will be assigned to 0 elements. Face detection dot face detection document. So we're going to pass the image to the document of the face detection. Detected faces equals face detection dot get faces. Self dot count of faces, and it should be lowercase a, so let's rename that. Go to the definition, so that should be lowercase. Equals detected faces dot count. So if there's a face to be detected, or if the image can be read, it does this block. If the image cannot be read, then we need like an else statement. And just for testing purposes, we just type in print image not found, which will be displayed to the console. Let's go back to the drop-on up here on line 61 and then apply our new function that will be called, which is detect faces. Detect faces. Add some padding, background, color, system, background, edges, ignore safe area. Let's run it and see if it works or not. So the output on the screen should be 3 faces as a count, and the 3 faces should be extracted from the image and displayed within the list. There's a over there that should be small a. So yeah, I'll try it now. So we need to rename this instance of count of faces variable. So that should be a small a as well. Let's try to run it again. As you can see, it found 3 faces that's been extracted from the image. Now let's try with the dog image. So all we do is rename 3 faces to be no faces, and then within the detect faces function on line 69, just rename 3 faces to be no faces. So the output should be 0 faces, because the dog isn't a human face. So that's correct, face detection, no faces detected. Thank you for joining us. If you found this tutorial helpful, please comment, like and subscribe. See you next week.